Hail and well met. Welcome to the pre-show hangout of the Dungeon Scrawlers. I'm Eric Scott B. These are the Dungeon Scrawlers and our special guest, Stefan Marmion. Oh, see, I knew I'd blow one of the names.
Yeah, so close.
And it was going to be the
so
last
close.
one. Stefan is one of our original members from our season 0, and he played Adrian Corvetto, aka Sir Shiny. Welcome, Stefan.
Hey everyone, I'm happy to be here. It's nice to see you all again, except for Steven, who's gone.
Yeah. It was very in character for him, though.
He's very stealthy. It's hard to tell if he's actually there or not.
So yeah, this is just our unstructured pre-show time. We just chat about whatever we want to chat about. Why don't you tell us maybe a little bit about Shiny as a character?
That why meeting?
A little bit about Adrian. Well, he was the initial sort of classic knight errant, traveling from village to village, seeking evildoers and trying to correct the wrongs that were done in all these small, undefendable towns. Eventually, however, he ran into a figure that he has, I don't want to say complex feelings for, but definitely complicated, in the form of Stong. It is, they, through, if I recall, very, very strange circumstances, became the co-parents of a small, strange, who I understand is still very important child to this game, yeah?
That's right.
Mirabelle's still a big deal.
We love Mirabelle.
There was some murder involved.
The best way to motivate us is to make us worry about Mirabelle.
Right.
Excellent. In fact, I very much remember myself, we all got, it was the deck of many things that we found at the same time that we found Mirabelle. And I remember tossing aside the treasure that was generated out of thin air for it in order to catch her and make sure she didn't fall out of that window.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where we get contentious, because did you catch Mirabelle or did you catch Stong, who was catching Mirabelle?
So, in Adrian's
I do remember
mind,
somebody catching someone else.
In Adrian's mind,
Yes.
he was catching Mirabelle, who happened to be held by Stong at the time.
But like his mind just erased Stong, like from the image. It's just like, oh, it's just a little baby.
It's like if you catch the net that's holding the fish, like, you know, he's not like catching the net, like he's using the net. You were the tool, the in between. But yeah, Adrian's whole life philosophy of pursuing justice, protecting the downtrodden, and very, very importantly, offering no forgiveness or like no quarter to evil, especially fiends. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Mirabelle came out of a hell portal.
Some kind of extra dimensional space.
It was abyssal, but
yeah,
you know,
it was
making that call in the field, that's tricky.
Yeah.
It was a fiendish portal of some sort.
I know that does not care about the difference.
Yeah. So it actually, Adrian found himself at a strange crossroads with that. The fact that he was dedicated entirely to protecting the innocent and those who could not protect themselves. However, this child was very clearly from some place that was anathema to him. And after a few months, he moved into an apartment with Stong, and he didn't quite agree with Stong's way of raising Mirabelle. But after a while, Adrian realized that his very, very Spartan way of approaching raising a child was maybe not the most conducive thing for Mirabelle's growth. So he was very, very hard for him. He left Mirabelle in Stong's care to go on a sort of vision quest for himself and try to figure out exactly what it was he should do about Mirabelle, this strange, maybe fiendish child that he feels a strong compulsion to protect and raise. And decided to go off for a couple years. Actually, I don't know how much time has passed in the game.
It has been a couple years.
Okay.
Maybe a year and a half. or so. I don't know. Time is fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What is
It's
time?
Spring now.
It is
That's what
spring
we
now.
know.
Yes.
Okay.
Green grass just happened.
So
Yeah.
he's gone off into the world to continue to do what he did before, which is just like Mad Max style knight errant from town to town in order to like solve small problems. And the idea is he's going out to sort of become in touch with the truest part of himself and then return to Westgate with the full idea of like, I will know exactly how to deal with the Mirabelle situation. And he's expecting her to be much older at this point.
Strangely,
Wow.
Strangely, she is not.
Yes. Imagine that.
Speaking of Mirabelle, I was sorry that Stong ended up underground, even though there were like cool Stong things underground last week, because I put the baby basket there specifically for him.
Oh.
If we
nice
hadn't gotten
touch.
chased out of there, I would have come up with some excuse to bring Stong up so he could see the little elven baby basket from the Weeping War.
Actually, if you still have like those notes, I would love to hear about elven baby baskets. Like that is one topic I know zero about. Normally, I do not think about babies in these TTRPGs at all.
You mean the stuff that I made up?
Oh yes, I would. Yes, even better.
I think we agreed.
It's now
that there-
canon in the game, basically.
Yeah.
So if elven boots make you silent and elven cloaks make you invisible, what do elven baby baskets?
Well,
do?
maybe I can do a retcon because I like the idea of the like blankets that help babies sleep. I mean, I guess they're elven babies, so they wouldn't be sleeping, but maybe it makes them not fuss.
Yes.
That's a really interesting, like,
Ooh.
sleep is so important for baby development that I'm like,
Are
elven
they
babies,
little like trance?
elven babies surely sleep. They just grow out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like the Benadryl blanket.
I was thinking it's like the YouTube on the phone, you know, like babies just see it and they just like trance on.
They just trance out.
So there are some special mechanics that go into Mirabelle. Because one of the house rules of this game, one of the establishing expectations is that there are no children in any danger at any time. So
I don't need
Mirabelle,
that.
what?
I don't need that in my game. I don't
Yeah,
need
agreed.
to have fun
Exactly.
with children in peril because it's not fun for me.
Exactly.
Agreed.
So
I like
take
it
it
when it's not fun
happens-
for anybody. You know,
That's
just-
fair. I just know that was my like X card. Like I will not play this game if we're gonna.
I remember
like,
that.
Exactly.
You should
Great
read
Great
it.
X cards.
So what that means is that Mirabelle counts as a creature or an object whenever it is more, whichever is more beneficial to her at any given moment. And whenever initiative is rolled or Stong enters combat in some way, or whoever is holding Mirabelle enters combat, you can immediately, as a free action, like put her in an extra dimensional space.
Cool.
And to be
So-
clear, Mirabelle being in narrative peril is fine, but we are never coming across her dismembered corpse
Right. Yeah.
Oh
or
my
something
God.
awful like that.
Only
Yes,
our
please
corpses.
don't.
We
that she
can
has
worry about that
dismembered.
in character.
Yeah.
Though I guess we weren't actually dismembered in that vision.
No fridging the baby.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
fridge
fridge
the
the
baby.
baby.
Don't fridge the baby.
Welcome to our stream, where we do not fridge babies.
But I was serious,
Indeed.
Stefan. There was a vision where Mirabelle, like teen Mirabelle, had like killed like nearly all of us for
Yeah,
like
she
the
sacrificed
power.
everybody.
Yeah.
Because we were watching the vision.
For
Was
dark
it in
magic
Vision too?
purposes, you know.
Like you
Shay-
said.
Not everyone saw that vision. Some people saw different visions.
Yeah, Artemisia was elsewhere.
I'm
Should-
very
should-
curious to learn all about this in character. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. But Shay just had a great comment. She says, in Westgate, the baby fridges you.
This is true.
Yeah. It's been true so
oh,
far.
by the way, could I have a link to the stream so I can share it with my friends?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers.
That's it.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that out loud, Stephen.
This
It's kind of an odd inception since everybody watching the stream already knew about that link.
Yeah, right?
Nothing.
Good
but
for
yeah.
the YouTubes.
Solely for me. I appreciate it.
He's my friend. Mm.
And as I understand it, Randy is taking it easy this evening as Rogar is kind of off stage taking care of those dwarves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tito will be off stage taking care of one of the archaeologists, so it's all good.
Possibly more than one of the archaeologists. Who can say?
The guy running the field lab is Artemis.
Oh, you wrote it your own NPC to romance. That's great. I love it.
No, like he doesn't have a name or anything. I was just like, okay, I need her.
He just has cheekbones.
camera.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, yeah.
No name, cheekbones.
That is basically his name now.
Yeah.
Cheekbones the archaeologist.
But I need her off camera, and I'm like, okay, she's gonna go flirt with somebody, and I'm like, okay, they're all dirty, which does not rule them out, but like she wants someone that's the least dusty, so that will probably be the guy running the lab, not any of the people doing screening. Screening is the worst for dust, so.
Yeah, and just remember, every archaeologist in this expedition is at least an 8 out of 10 in terms of attractiveness.
And I'm really excited to interact with all these characters again.
Well, they're all half elves, so it's 1d4 plus 6.
Yeah.
So
I can start rolling. I think I said 20 of them, so I'll just start like rolling all 20 and say, I want the 4.
nice.
All half elves except for Remzi.
Tito
Right.
sees the beauty in everyone. So.
And Ramsey is, well, a protagonist. So
Yeah.
he has
Remzi's
his
also
own,
like 15,
his own rules.
So
Yeah. Right.
he's gonna strike out here.
Right. For
What do you
like
have a crush on?
3 more years.
Nissa.
Nissa, that's right.
Nissa,
Who's
the
like 40.
30-year-old half elf, 40-year-old half elf.
Ooh,
He was not gonna get anywhere with that.
hot for teacher, huh? All right.
Mhm.
I see the
I mean,
chat
she's
is
very sweet, so she would never like crush his dreams, but
In my head canon, she had no sense that that's what was going on. She just thought he was this nice boy who's so interested in archaeology. And he can haul a lot of dirt. That's great. And his dog is cute. Kind of scary, but cute.
like really big, but like cuddly.
Yeah.
This dog. Yeah.
What a lucky thing. It's so nice to see the youth getting interested in archaeology. Meanwhile, he's like, look at her cheekbones.
I like the idea of we don't fridge babies as a t-shirt. I think that's great.
Yeah. I mean,
That's like the opposite of the save the cat trope is the fridge the baby
God.
trope.
is this when we start our merch line with this
All right, if you
t-shirt?
guys don't mind, I'm going to take a page from Steven's book and grab some tea real quick. I'll be right back.
Cool. Speaking of Stephen, we've been having this conversation. I keep trying to convince him that the artifact that you found in Mitranor is dangerous. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to keep using it. I'm like,
Ah,
That seems
Steven.
in character.
I'm talking to you. This is dangerous. Don't do this. And you're like, no, I'm going to keep activating it and see what happens.
no, you don't understand. I have other ideas with it.
Okay.
The same thing over and over.
Yeah, I mean, he'll never make the boring choice. So
Yeah.
shenanigans.
I guess that's fair. It's fair.
What? A possessed sword I'm told not to touch? Let's grab that.
Look,
So
man,
the,
can I just make an observation?
Yeah.
His strategy of driving one curse out with the other worked to an extent.
Yeah.
He got rid of the sword by smashing another cursed item with the sword, and the sword then exploded, and he got this neat little stone that he embedded in his chest, and
he got rid of a powerful magical weapon,
that was
and he's
making
happy about it.
stupid crap that totally scuttled his whole strength, all of his strengths.
You were building a relationship, but it wasn't going fast enough. So
Yeah. And it was resolving some of your memory curse. So that's true. The sword did give
Yeah.
you some.
So, and this thing,
You're onto something there.
this item, this heirloom, apparently, I mean, it was so important they hid it in a secret place. It can't just be something that drains people's lives. It has
But
to
if it's so cursed, they hid it in a secret place.
with the baby
Ooh.
thing. I don't think.
Well, we don't know what happened to the baby.
Maybe
Yeah.
the baby got drained.
well, so
It's
just
like
as
a
a
shop.
note, from the person who was narrating that scene, if any of you noticed, the font was added later. baby is contemporaneous with the shelves and stuff that were in there, and the font was kind of like shoved against the shelves once the wood was sort of fragile and decaying. So font came in possibly centuries after the baby basket was put in there.
Interesting.
There you go. The
But
people
just
who put
like
the
a-
font in didn't feel like tidying up,
Yeah.
which, cursed font. I don't blame them. Get it in there, get out.
But like a shop vac, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't just suck. You can probably flip the switch and it'll also blow. So, you can like
You
maybe
just
get
gotta find the
infused with
switch.
a bunch of life force or something. Or maybe you can.
Well, we'll see. Sturge is the thing's heavy, right? It's made of stone.
Very heavy.
Very
Yeah,
heavy.
it's unlikely the thing came from anywhere else but this house.
It's made of golden marble, in fact.
Is it life size?
Ooh.
Yes.
So if, like, say you wanted to chop off just its hand and affix it.
I think the hand is molded into the font that she's holding.
Then it
Oh,
can hold
okay.
stuff.
That's right.
It comes with a free bowl.
That's right.
And a hand.
That's so
The
handy.
thing weighs about
Very
5,000 pounds. So
Yeah.
Wait, how much does it weigh?
5,000 pounds.
Let me do some quick calculations.
Okay. It's very dense. Anyway, I see the chat has been talking about elves and the eternal how do elves grow up and age question. So I just wanted to weigh in on it from a Forgotten Realms standpoint and how it goes about in this game. Elves physically mature at the same rate that humans do. They're not considered adults among their own people until they're about 100 years old. And that's a cultural thing. It's not like they're babies for 50, 60 years and then they become young adults at 100. But they're often not considered mature or sensible until around 100. An
Their
elf who
frontal
grows
lobes haven't finished developing. They don't
Well,
have
yeah.
executive function.
Yeah, exactly.
an elf who grows up among other elves.
On their Piaget chart, they're yeah. So I think that
An elf that grows up among other elves will be physically mature around 20 or 25, but then like still be considered a child by other elves until they're 100 because they don't have to be a grown-up for that amount of time. They're just not expected to be.
that's my
They're ex-
plan.
yeah,
They're
they're-
grown up around 100.
Exactly. They're expected to go through life and just kind of experience things and learn things and just, find how they want to be as adults. So it's like they're in college for 80 years.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say if it was like you have your regular 4 years of college and then you have 80 years of getting even more adult-like, they would be the ultimate buzzkills of the whole.
80-year gap year.
Well, that'd be cool. But if
Yeah.
it's like
As Seldarine said, it's like they're in a frat for like 80 years.
Lord. Is there some
That
sort of
sounds terrible.
like marker for adulthood? Like, is there some sort of ritual, or when this happens, now you're an adult, or is
Sure,
it just your
although
birthday?
it depends on the particular group of elves you're talking about. Different elves have different rituals.
It's because everybody wants to write about elves.
Right.
So everybody made up something new.
So everything has to be true.
Oh, we could come up with something.
Luckily, nobody wants to write about dwarves. So
because not many people have written about that, right?
about what?
That's
Sorry.
true.
Lithari.
About Lithari.
Oh,
But I
Lithari.
feel confident that if it was relevant in his books, Mark Sehestet made something up because he is an anthropologist by training too. So he's like, what are these important rituals in here? But it's been a while since I got
to
it,
think
so I
about
can't
that
be
because
sure.
it might be part of one
But-
sentence that I talk
Right?
about my character's backstory.
right?
I got to invent this whole cultural expectation.
I mean, how could
I
you
mean,
not?
This is why I don't write historical.
Yeah, same here.
Stuff like that. Dragonborn are an adult. For a long time, the Dragonborn culture, you were not an adult until you had killed a dragon. And
Oh,
then
wow.
they came to Toril, and it was like, there are fewer of those. It's trickier. Now you have to do your army, your 2 years in the army, and then you can be an adult. But there's still this, like, if you're kind of somebody important and elite and if you're in a fancy clan, they might be like, no, you're going dragon hunting.
Oh,
You
there's
can't have a
double
status
standards.
sword without dragons.
Double dragon standards.
Okay. Steven, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I don't think I can move that statue for you. I just did all the calculations, and I don't think I have the necessary strength or spells.
Yeah, I looked it up. Telekinesis can't lift
What
it.
if you just
Even his donkey
pull the
stall?
bag of holy
Yeah,
over
like
the
donkey
top
stall.
of it? Can you just like scoop
Oh
it?
man.
Maybe.
Stefan, I think Adrian will find that Stong is very strong these days.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know how he'll feel about that. It's going to be more mixed emotions.
I actually watched the old episode, that flashback episode that we showed to kind of
Oh,
like
yeah?
get a note about our last relationship tone. This will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What was the tone?
It's kind of like bickering house husbands, kind of.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's how I would call it.
yeah,
Two
I was
men
always on his
bickering.
case about making money or not making money.
Yeah, it was my job.
Wasn't there some joke that we had a long time ago about Shiny giving people reports about all the good he had done that day? And he was like, I saved someone from drowning.
I remember him
Yeah.
saying that.
I
Yeah.
saved a second person from drowning.
Yeah,
I
that was
saved
the thing.
a third
Stong would
person
be
from
like,
drowning.
I'd explain that to Stong, and Stong would be like, how much money did the drowning person give you? And I'd be like, they didn't. I just saved them.
Yeah, we can't feed our baby on appreciation.
Don't just do good things for coin. What
I
is
do
this,
remember,
Westgate? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I
it
do
is.
remember. Aaron, I'm so sorry. What was your character's name?
Cecilia,
Cecilia. That's right. I remember.
when I sniped the vampire?
Yes, and I remember you. I remember you doing that. And then when we got back to the brothel to explain that, I gave you full credit immediately, and you were flabbergasted.
Did she tip you?
I didn't tip him.
That was one of my favorite episodes, actually. I remember Shiny had got onto the wagon. The weird vampire thing was there, toe to toe with him, and then the vampire had showboated all of his misty steps away, so he couldn't escape.
Mm.
And Shiny gave him a big hit, and the guy just kind of, his eyes went wide, and Shiny said, "Run from me."
Oh yeah, that was a good
And he
line.
ran, and then Cecilia just lit him up with a witch bolt, and she said, "Witch bolt, bitch!"
Hey, yeah,
The guy
that was
just
that.
That's what everybody's going to remember
that is
forever.
one of my favorite.
Yeah. Just never going to forget it.
You don't have
Sorry.
Witch Bolt anymore. So
I
now you have to
don't.
do
I dropped
something
Witch
with
with
Bolt.
Eldritch
She
Blast.
hasn't had that spell for several levels now.
I do love that
Because
line.
it just, I feel like Cecilia would be watching Artemis's lightning bolt get more and more effective and just going like, I can do something better than this. I do need the comparison.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a really cool spell if you've got good concentration. I mean, for a minute, if you overcast it, you could have a freaking witch bolt going that hits for 4 or 5. If you cast a 4th level spell, I think 5 die 12 for a minute every round on the same dude that you hit.
That is true.
Wow.
Gal that you hit.
Very strong.
It's great.
Yeah,
But then, of course, somebody hits you and breaks your concentration, and it's over.
Yeah.
But
I do have a Warcaster now, so it's a little harder, but
yeah, so I mean, it's amazing, really versatile.
yeah. It's just too bad that Eldritch Blast almost like outclasses like any other damage spell for warlocks.
Especially since it's a cantrip.
Yeah.
good thing I don't care about that.
Yeah.
So
Now I can do stuff like I can summon David and that's
David.
charming. I can banish stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're about time. It's time to go to the recaps. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to say before we go to recaps?
Today I learned the
No.
phrase apropos to boats, and I love it. Apropos to boats. Today I learned the phrase apropos to boats.
Apropos to boats. There's a sorcery spell, enlarge and shrink or whatever, reduce, that that Artemisia could use to reduce the statue to 1/8 its normal weight and half its size, at least for 1 minute, and then stuff it in the bag of holding. That's would be my suggestion. But...
That's nice.
Okay, well, with that,
Eric
we
is
are
like,
going to the recap. See you in a few minutes.
Don't go away.